Hey there. Welcome back to Sonu Puduk. If you've ever felt like your paycheck disappears before you even blink, you're not alone. There are some cities in the US where it seems like everything from your rent to your morning coffee costs an arm and a leg. In these cities, the term rob you blind isn't about crime. It's about the sky-high cost of living, from rent to groceries and everything in between. And don't even think about brunch. In these places, it'll cost you more than your car payment. By the end of this video, you'll know which cities will have your wallet crying for help. Call to action. So before we start counting down, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stick with us till the end. Who knows? Your city might be on this list. For each city, let's dive into details about how the city impacts people's finances, some unique facts about its cost of living, and include humor to keep the content lighthearted. Here's an example for how each section might be structured. Number 10. San Diego, California. San Diego, a home to perfect weather, stunning beaches, and a cost of living that could make your wallet run for cover. Housing. Think about paying $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom. Yes, you read that right. And if you want ocean views, you might need a second job. Food and drink. San Diego's food scene is top-notch, but it comes with a price. A single taco could set you back $7. You want guac? They'll treat that like an investment. With an average salary around $70,000, you'd think you'd be comfortable, right? Not in San Diego. Here, you'll feel like you're just covering the basics. Ever get that sinking feeling after hitting pay on a food delivery app? Imagine that times 100 every time you go grocery shopping here. Number 9. Boston, Massachusetts. Boston is rich in history, and it'll cost you a small fortune to live among it. Housing. $2,700 a month for an apartment that may or may not have functional heating in winter. But hey, you're close to Harvard. Transportation. It'll probably depend on the T-Boston subway system. Let's just say it's a character-building experience. Bostonians average around $78,000 a year, but with high living costs, you may still find yourself pinching pennies. Let's just say a night out for clam chowder in Boston might have you rethinking your entire financial plan. Number 8. Miami, Florida. Miami is all about sun, surf, and skyrocketing prices. Housing. Expect to pay at least $2,500 for an apartment, and that's if you're lucky. And yes, some of them even come with walls. Entertainment. Nightlife in Miami is iconic, but one night out can cost you more than a week's groceries. Don't be surprised if you spend $100 on a couple of drinks. The average salary in Miami is around $55,000, which barely covers the basics once you factor in rent, food, and, well, fun. Pro tip: you might think twice about clubbing in Miami unless you've budgeted for bottle service. Those drinks aren't free. Number 7. Seattle, Washington. Seattle has incredible coffee, tech jobs, and views, but you'll pay a premium for every single one. Housing. Rent in Seattle is no joke, with one-bedroom apartments easily going for $2,400. And don't get us started on the cost of parking. Coffee. Seattle's coffee scene is the stuff of legends, but those $7 lattes add up. Who knew coffee could be a financial commitment? Even with tech salaries averaging around $90,000, people here are still feeling the pinch. Here's a Seattle reality check. You'll spend half your salary on rent, and the other half on coffee, and maybe a third half on raincoats. Number 6. New York, New York. You can make it here, you can make it anywhere, or so they say. Housing. Average rent for a studio? $3,200 a month. Yes, really. Welcome to the Big Apple. Dining out. A pizza slice here costs about $5. A whole pie? You'll want a payment plan. New Yorkers have some of the highest salaries, averaging $100,000, but with prices like these, you might feel just as broke as anywhere else. New York living means learning to justify spending $10 on a bagel. It's not a splurge, it's a necessity, right? Number 5. Los Angeles, California. A city of stars, glamour, and you guessed it, high living costs. Housing. $3,200 for a one-bedroom is pretty common in LA. Maybe it comes with parking, maybe not. Transportation. If you have a car, get ready for high insurance, gas, and a lot of traffic frustration. Average salary here? About $70,000, but it feels like half once you factor in all the costs. In LA, you're either eating ramen for the month or gonna brunch once. Choices, right? Number 4. Honolulu, Hawaii. Living in paradise isn't cheap, especially when everything has to be shipped in from the mainland. Housing. $2,600 a month for a small apartment, and that's if you're lucky. The average salary in Honolulu is around $60,000, which is stretched thin by the cost of paradise. Imagine paying $10 for milk. Yes, milk. Welcome to Honolulu. Number 3. Washington, D.C. Our nation's capital isn't just high on politics, it's high on prices too. Housing. D.C. rent averages around $2,500 for a one-bedroom, which might come with questionable plumbing. Entertainment. Tickets to the latest museum exhibits can cost a fortune, even though they're technically free. Average salary here is about $90,000, but with taxes and high prices, you'll feel the squeeze. Living in D.C. means knowing how to stretch every dollar, mostly so you can pay for parking. Number 2. San Francisco, California. Tech city, high rent, and a real estate market that's just outrageous. Housing. Expect $3,500 plus for rent, and that's just for a studio. Food and drink. A basic burrito? That'll be $12, please. Guac extra, of course. Even with an average salary around $100,000, you'll still feel like you're just getting by. San Francisco is the only city where you might consider a shared bedroom just to save a little cash. Number 1. New York. New York. Again, because it deserves it. New York City has it all. Skyscrapers, pizza, and a cost of living so high it deserves a second mention. Living here isn't just expensive, it's an endurance test. Housing. A one-bedroom apartment can easily set you back $3,500 per month. Want a two-bedroom? Better have a movie star salary, because you're looking at over $5,000 a month in some areas. Groceries. Groceries in NYC aren't exactly budget-friendly. That carton of eggs you could buy for $4 elsewhere. Try $8 here. Transportation. New Yorkers mostly use the subway, but even that's a bit of a luxury at this point, with a monthly pass costing around $130. The average salary in New York is about $90,000, which sounds great on paper. But once you factor in rent, utilities, food, and even the occasional night out, it's like living on a financial treadmill where you're working just to survive. Picture this. You finally get paid, head out for a fancy New York bagel and coffee, and by noon you're already thinking, should I cancel my Netflix subscription to save money? Well, that wraps up our list of the top 10 U.S. cities that will rob you blind. While each of these cities has its own unique charm, living there means paying top dollar, and sometimes making some pretty wild sacrifices just to keep up with the cost of living. Did your city make the list? Or maybe you're thinking about moving to one of these spots despite the price. Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want more fun insights into life in different cities, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for sticking around till the end, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay savvy.